And a happy Memorial Day weekend to you, wherever you may be listening to the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970. The Answer. Well, if you're living here in the tri-state area, the New York, New Jersey area, it's certainly not the best Memorial Day weekend. You know why? Because of the weather. I mean, it's been in the 60s, rainy, not exactly optimal weather for that first sort of pre-summer barbecue, right? I mean, I'm going to get out there, hit the grill, hang out with some friends. It's been a quiet weekend for me, actually. My wife went to go see our nieces, and she enjoyed a couple of days up in Pennsylvania. And I sort of putted around the house and, had a couple of beers and did some, couple of little things, but nothing spectacular. Kind of a relaxing weekend, which sometimes you need that. And again, the weather playing a big part of it, which is never a good thing. I mean, we had 90s earlier in the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then all of a sudden the bottom dropped out. But you didn't tune into the show to hear an extended weather report. Of course not. You tuned in to listen to all about the beer news that is going on in and around the United States and the world. Although this segment, by the way, will qualify more as a New Jersey beer segment than anything else, because there's a lot of news coming out of New Jersey in the beer space. So we're going to get to that in just a moment. This is an all-news edition of the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast. We've had some great guests the last couple of weeks. Took a break on that since it is Memorial Day weekend. And maybe you want to kick back. Maybe you got a little fire going. You're having that beer or that cocktail, or maybe you're drinking something non-alcoholic while Memorial Day is tomorrow. And let's remember what Memorial Day is about. It's about the troops. It's about the troops that have fallen, that have served our country, and did not make it home. So let's remember what the day is about. But kick back, relax, and hopefully I can entertain you for the next hour or so. So let's dive into that New Jersey beer news. So sitting through a boring movie that others wanted to see could get a lot more fun in a lot more theaters in New Jersey. A bill has advanced through the Assembly that would let movie theaters in the state buy a separate type of liquor license to sell alcoholic drinks before, during, and after screenings. These would not count against municipalities' population-based limit of one license for every 3,000 residents. That's how it works in New Jersey, under which dine-in movie theaters, bars, and restaurants are restricted. The legislation advanced the Thursday before last out of the Assembly Oversight Committee would allow theaters to buy liquor licenses for $210,000 or $150,000 if at least 10% of alcohol sold came from a New Jersey brewery, distillery, or winery. It could not be resold. So if a movie theater, let's say it's a four-theater movie theater, you cannot resell the license if your business goes under. So I think that's actually a smart thing, right? You're being charged this, and again, is this a license? This is a flat $210,000, or you have to pay it yearly? That is unclear. The licenses would require approval from both municipalities and the state's Division of Alcohol Beverage Control. Bill aims to help theaters diversify revenue and support the state's craft alcohol industry. According to Assemblyman Cody Miller, he says, "I don't want to see another movie theater close, and this gives them an opportunity to keep their doors open." Cody is a Democrat who voted in favor of the bill, which is NJA 6233. The Oversight, Reform, and Federal Relations Committee approved the legislation by a vote of 4-2 along party lines. Democrats supported it. Republicans opposed it. Lobbyist Matt Greller said 13 New Jersey for-profit movie theaters do have bars and restaurants on premise. They have to purchase already existing licenses, which can cost up to $2 million. That's true. AMC, Alamo Theaters, they would have to purchase an existing liquor license from the town right now. I don't know exactly how I feel about this. I do like the fact that if you buy 10% of your alcohol from Jersey breweries, distilleries, or wineries, that it would reduce your price from $210,000 to $150,000. I think that's great. The problem is, how much are you going to actually consume at a movie theater where it benefits the movie theater in a positive cash flow, right? If you're getting the keg for $120, you're marking the beer up to make the difference. So you're not charging them $6 or $7 a pint. You're probably charging them somewhere between $10 and $12 in order to make up the difference. So for me, I don't want to go to a 2-hour movie and have to go to the bathroom 4 times because I'm drinking during the movie. What did I pay for? I paid to run to the bathroom and drink a beer from, a great New Jersey brewery. Again, I don't have an issue with it. I just don't understand why it's needed when there are restaurants out there. It's the same thing with this diner bill that New Jersey is putting in, that they want to save diners. Well, what about the rest of the restaurants in New Jersey that could use some help? I've said this before. This is not the first time that I've said this on this program. The New Jersey State Legislature needs to come up with a way to allow mom-and-pop restaurants, not chains, mom-and-pop restaurants, to purchase a liquor license, much like this, $210,000 or $150,000 if at least 10%. Actually, no, it should be $150,000, and I'll tell you why. They can only buy New Jersey beer, spirits, or wine and serve it at their restaurant. And it would be limited. 2 beers, maybe 2 distilleries, 2 wineries. Okay? You'd have a selection. You'd be supporting New Jersey places. More people would be apt to maybe not go to a BYOB. Now, again, you can make it a BYOB if you want. There's no reason. Again, I think it should be not this or that. It should be this and that, right? I'm reminded of conjunction, junction, what's your function? I think if you do that, restaurants have the ability to stay open and you're promoting a New Jersey product. I mean, there's more to be fleshed out here, but I like the idea that they want to do this with movie theaters. I don't know how many of them would really want to jump into this, and pay an additional $150,000 or $210,000 to have Budweiser on tap, or to have maybe let's say Bolero Snort. I don't know. We shall see. Speaking of which, of the alcohol beverage control, Governor Sherrill, Attorney General Jennifer Davenport, about a week and a half ago, announced the governor's nomination of Paul Thomas Urbish as director of the ABC. He is currently a director at the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission. Now they want him to lead the ABC as well. He is an attorney who now heads the CRC's Office of Compliance and Investigations. Urbish has worked in public service for approximately a decade, playing different roles in state government, including at the Department of Community Affairs and the ABC. Governor Sherrill said with his background in licensing, investigations, and regulating the products of New Jersey's burgeoning legal cannabis industry and his experience with alcoholic beverage permitting and appeals, Paul understands the important balance between enabling businesses to thrive and ensuring compliance with guardrails and consumer safety. His history of regulating and fostering a fledgling industry will be an asset to the ABC, which similarly oversees a sector that is constantly undergoing transformation and forms a vital part of New Jersey's economy. By the way, that vital part, over $1 billion in tax revenue to the New Jersey economy. Mr. Urbish said, I'm grateful to Governor Sherrill for the opportunity to rejoin the ABC, and I'm excited to work with Attorney General Davenport and the ABC team. I look forward to working diligently to protect residents, ensure that local businesses are operated lawfully and responsibly, and that our businesses have the necessary flexibility to accommodate an unprecedented wave of tourism this summer. He'll have to be approved. I don't know how I feel on this. I haven't really heard many people speak about him, whether good or bad. So we shall see. I'll do some checking, and we'll get back to you on that. I'm assuming that he will probably be approved in a fairly quick manner. So we will see what happens there. And a reminder for everyone, if you want to get out there and support those New Jersey breweries, you can do so because New Jersey Pint Day is coming on Thursday, June 4th. It's the inaugural edition from the Brewers Guild of New Jersey. More than 30 participating breweries across the state are taking part in it. If you purchase the limited edition collectible pint glass, that will be available exclusively at the participating breweries and tap rooms that I will list for you. In partnership with the BGNG, member breweries and Boletier Beverage, $1 from every glass will be donated to the Brewers Guild of New Jersey. It helps them to help the lobbyists and stuff and get things done in Trenton. That's why you're buying the glass. It absolutely helps them. New Jersey native and designer Todd Schmidt, who does a lot of stuff for Twin Elephant, designed the glass, the state bird, which is the American goldfinch, carrying a hop leaf, because at the core of beer is where we call home. That's the message from the Brewers Guild of New Jersey. So you can get them at these participating breweries: Autodidact, Axe and Arrow, Bolero Snort, Zigmeister, Departed Souls, Diamond Spring, Double Nickel, Farmers and Bankers, Fort Nonsense, Gear Block, Ghost Talk, Hackensack, Icarus, Jersey Girl, Kings Road Brewing Company, Last Wave, Lion's Roar, Little Dog, Magnify, Manskirt, Montclair, Oak Flower, Pallet, Screamin' Hill, Seven Tribesmen, Sunken Silo Brewworks, Tall Oaks Farm and Brewery, Tom's River, Triumph, Twin Elephant, Twin Lights, Twin Souls, Veritage, Wet Ticket Brewing, Wims Brewing, and Zed's Beer. So there you go. There's the list. I don't know who I'm going to be stopping in to get the glass. Maybe it'll be Twin Elephant. Maybe it'll be Pallet. I haven't been there in a while. Maybe it'll be my favorite local place to get a beer, Wet Ticket. Maybe over at Lions Roar. I don't know. Hit one of those breweries, get that glass, and donate some money to the Brewers Guild of New Jersey, which is always an awesome thing. Now, when we come back after a short break, we're going to have more news and notes from around the beer world. We'll dive into some different things, and we'll have our weekly segment with Gary Monterosso talking about alt beer. That's some interesting stuff. Coming up next on the Algatulo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970, The Answer. Welcome back to the Algatulo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970, The Answer. Like I said earlier, I hope you're having a great Memorial Day weekend. I hope you're enjoying it. We're sort of enjoying it here. It's, the weather. It wasn't a total rain out, but after dealing with 90s, for the first couple of days this week, I really was expecting a little bit of a better weekend. But what are you going to do? You make the most of it, right? So let's dive into some news. So we talked about the new Tag the Summer 12-pack from Troegs last week, but now not only do they have that one up for sale, but they have two other 12-packs and a little contest also that you can enter. So they've refreshed their Freaky Squeeze Spike Variety Pack for the summer. It features 4 flavors of the Hershey, Pennsylvania-based brewery's alcoholic beverages made with real fruit. It is, let's see here. Hang on one second. No, I am not logging out. You'll have to wait. I hate when computers do that. So it includes spiked lemonade, which is a new flavor that's exclusive to the pack. And then they have the black cherry limeade, peach orangeade, and mango pineapple. They're good stuff. I had them. They sent them to me a couple of years ago. I've not had the spiked lemonade, but for a change of pace, absolutely a really nice, refreshing sort of thing while you may be lounging by the pool or at the beach, if you can bring alcoholic beverages onto the beach. And then they, of course, have Perpetual Exploration, which is their quarterly rotating variety pack that showcases the diversity of Troegs' year-round and seasonal offerings. So this current 12-pack includes Perpetual IPA, which is the best-selling craft beer in Pennsylvania, alongside Sunshine Pilsner, Field Study Summer IPA, and for the first time in 12-ounce cans, Pennsylvania Lager. Now, they sent me 16-ounce cans of that a while back, and they were delicious. So now you get it in a 12-ounce can. It's pretty good. It's a banging lager. Now, to coincide with the release of these variety packs, Troegs is offering fans a chance to win some great prizes through its Tag the Summer giveaway. 10 lucky winners will receive a custom Graffiti Highway-themed JBL Flip 6 Bluetooth speaker along with a 12-month subscription to Spotify Premium. Eligible contestants can text TAG, that's T-A-G, to 312-376-1835 to enter. That's, you text TAG, T-A-G, to 312-376-1835 to enter, and good luck. Pabst Brewing is ending production of Schlitz beer after 177 years of existence. Schlitz, of course, was once America's largest brewer after being founded in 1849. They were bought out by Pabst in 1999. The company gave permission to Wisconsin Brewing Company to brew an 80-barrel batch of Schlitz. It was brewed yesterday using specifications from a 1948 recipe, but that is it. They are no longer going to be making Schlitz beer. So for those folks with a little nostalgia there with Schlitz, no longer. Grab a six-pack where you can because you're not going to be drinking Schlitz beer that much longer. And, again, it was one of those beers that you sort of avoided, but you had it when you were in college or maybe, wink, wink, high school because it was cheap. But, that's the way it goes. Now, Zigmeister, they are celebrating their 10th anniversary on June the 13th, which is a Saturday. It's from noon to 10 p.m. They're going to have live music, food trucks, local vendors, and, of course, plenty of beer. The 10th anniversary theme is X marks the spot, Pirates and Treasure. They want you to break out your best pirate gear and get ready to party. They can't wait to celebrate with you. So if you're in the Hackettstown area, June 13th, noon to 10 p.m., head over to Zigmeister and have a little bit of fun. This happened more than about a week and a half ago. Bauhaus Brew Labs has announced that it will close this summer after more than a decade as an anchor of the Northeast Minneapolis beer scene. So this from one of the owners. I thought, it's basically from one of the owners because they just said the brewery wrote. Unfortunately, we have faced a number of serious challenges over the past few years, including substantial cost increases in our supply chain, shifts in consumer preferences away from craft beer, a global pandemic, and most recently, a surge in federal immigration enforcement that directly targeted our wonderful city and deeply affected businesses across the hospitality industry, the brewery wrote. This was on social media. Despite pulling every lever available to us, the financial headwinds have proven to be insurmountable. We've made the very difficult and heartbreaking decision to close our doors. The brewery says it intends to keep its tap room open through the end of June. June 26th through the 28th will serve as a joint party for the 12th anniversary and their closure. They want to send Bauhaus off the way it deserves. Great beer, great music, and the people who made this place what it is, throughout Minneapolis. They opened back in July of 2014. A lot of German beers, connected indoor-outdoor space, a lot of food trucks, raucous events, et cetera, et cetera. They wrote, in addition to this, they said, to you, our customers, our regulars, our community, thank you. Thank you for every pint, every birthday party, every first date, every post-work gathering, every liquid zoo, every quiet Tuesday afternoon spent in our tap room. You're the reason Bauhaus mattered. You're the reason it will continue to matter long after our doors close. And then a comment from one of the co-owners, Lydia Haynes. She said, for other craft breweries, if you love them, go to their tap rooms. If you want to have a vibrant craft beer scene, go to the tap room and have fun. Have fun doing it, because that's the best way that you can help us, is to support all of our friends who are still fighting the good fight. Now, I've been preaching this to the choir, right? It's one thing to buy beer at your local liquor store and love your local brand of beer, but in order for that business to stay open, you've got to be in their tap room. Even if you go every once in a while, you have to do it, because that's important. There's overhead to pay. And, again, not knowing where Bauhaus was and not knowing the situation, they're blaming, immigration laws. And I think there is some truth to that. But again, when you're dealing with so many different factors in business, was the quality of your beer where it should be? Why weren't people coming in? Clearly, this is an instance here where people were not populating their tap room. So you need to be in a vibrant area. You need to be in an area that people want to go to. We saw just earlier about 2 weeks ago, Cypress Brewing closed in Jersey, in Edison, and I feel for Charlie Backman. But apparently he hadn't paid rent in a few months. There was a sign on the door, apparently, for non-payment of rent. And again, where Cypress is located is sort of a desert. He's the only game there. And that's difficult. If your beer is not knocking it out of the park, there's no incentive for people to come. Now, you're holding events and doing different things and people are coming, but maybe not necessarily drinking that much. That's a different set of circumstances, right? But if your beer isn't up to par, people aren't going to drink it. It's one thing to get your beer out in distro. It's another thing to actually have people coming to your tap room and selling your beer out in droves. Places like Twin Elephant and Autodidact have places that are sort of out of the way a little bit. Yet people come and populate it. People come and they sell their beer out. It's a big difference. And it's the shifting tide of craft beer and how people are going to navigate that is going to make them successful or unsuccessful, despite all the effort that you put in. You never know. Now, Bolivia is the world's third biggest producer of the cocoa leaf and of cocaine. And now they're making cocaine beer. Okay, now, obviously, this is not something you can get in the United States. La Paz's El Viejo Roble Distillery already makes coca rum and vodka products and has now launched a coca-infused brew that is set to hit the market at only $2 a bottle. Obviously, in the Bolivian economy, it's not going to be a problem. But to get it anywhere else, you're not going to be able to go on Tavor, I don't think, and buy a beer with cocaine in it and have it shipped to the United States. I don't know. Good luck. That's all I have to say. I'm just reporting it. Good luck if you decide that you want to try and go after a cocaine beer and have it shipped. It might be $2 in Bolivia, but I'm sure it's going to cost you a heck of a lot more to get it shipped to the United States. And, oh, by the way, if they catch it, they're going to destroy it. And, well, all right, we'll leave it at that. Finally, Molson Coors, the brewer of Coors Light, Miller High Life, Coors Banquet, Blue Moon, they have introduced a lager luggage collection. It's a limited edition lineup of travel essentials designed to make summer travel feel a lot lighter and a little lighter and a lot more fun with ice-cold beer. So they have a fully insulated suitcase that can carry a case of beer. It's outfitted with a cup holder, all-terrain wheels, and a telescoping handle. They have a Hold My Beer sling bag. It holds a perfectly chilled bottle of beer. I'm assuming it's a 12-ounce bottle. Beer Me Beach Bag. It's the ultimate pack light hack. The bag fits and chills a six-pack of your favorite brews. So, obviously, when somebody says, give me a beer, you have it at the ready. A shower brew caddy, because nothing says vacation like a shower beer after a long day in the sun. The insulated caddy makes sure your post-sun rinse, comes with a perfectly chilled reward. Simply unzip and hang in your bathroom for easy access. And just bring the beer tag. It's a bag tag that is easily identifiable and reminds you of the most important thing to bring on your vacation, beer. Now, if you want to get any of this, of course, you have to be 21 and older. You can go right now, justbringthebeer.com. Collection pieces range from $5 to $100. And if you want to know more, you can visit at Molson Coors on social media for more information. There you go. Now, I don't know who would be rolling up with a suitcase that doubles as a cooler, but you never know in this day and age with parties. All right? When we come back after a break, we will have our segment with Gary Monterosso, who will be talking about alt beer, and a lot more news, and some surprises as well, including, I think we're going to talk about this, using AI to advertise for your brewery. Do you like it or do you hate it? That's next on the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970, The Answer. Welcome back to the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970, The Answer. Yeah, it's not been a good Memorial Day weekend. I keep saying that. I you know what? For many of you, it may be a good Memorial Day weekend. Here in the East, not so much, but let's not forget what the Memorial Day holiday is all about. It is about remembering the fallen and the reason why we have this holiday. So for those of you that served and never returned home, we thank you for your sacrifice. It is certainly not forgotten. You know, I was going to do Gary Monterosso's spot here, but I'm going to wait until the final segment of the show. Final segment of the show will have not only Gary's segment talking about alt beer, but also about artificial intelligence and it being used in advertisements for advertising your brewery, your restaurant, your widget, whatever it is. So I did something a few weeks ago, and I just want to get your thoughts on it because it bothers me, and I'm wondering if it bothers you too. But let's dive into a bunch of different things here. First up, and a lot of it has to do with non-alcoholic beers, right? So San Diego's Pure Project has brought out 2 new year-round releases. Grounded is a non-alcoholic IPA loaded with Citra and Mosaic hops. Sunsip is a laid-back non-alcoholic blonde ale. Both clock in 0.5% ABV. So Grounded, the Grounded non-alcoholic IPA showcases 2 Pacific Northwest hop varieties, Citra and Mosaic. They say it's a bold, aromatic brew, delivers notes of bright lemongrass, citrus, and resin, followed by a crisp, slightly bitter finish. Sunsip Blonde Ale moves more delicately across the palate. It offers flavors of freshly baked bread and jasmine, rounded out by a subtle whole wheat character and a hint of zesty lemon peel. Both are available now. Both are year-round and are available at all 5 Pure Project taproom locations in San Diego County, as well as at select retailers. So kudos to them. They have decided to make their own non-alcoholic beer. And again, it's not easy. Some do it very well. Like I've said before, Estrella Galathea does a non-alcoholic lager that is fantastic. Obviously, Athletic Brewing, we'll get to them in a moment. They have many different styles, Athletic Brewing, that they have put out in the non-alcoholic category. And I have to say, many of them are very good and definitely a change of pace. And I've seen a lot of Jersey breweries that, don't have the tank space to dedicate to non-alcoholic beer because it is difficult to make. There's two different ways that you can make it, but, you have to have dedicated tank space in order to do it. A lot of them have opted, hey, we'll buy a case or two of Athletic Brewing. And this way, if somebody wants a beer but they don't want the alcohol, that they can do that. So, I like that idea. I think it's a great idea, and it helps both companies, right? The brewery is making money, and so is Athletic Brewing. Nothing wrong with that. Bale Breaker. This is something that happened about a week ago, I guess it was. So Bale Breaker is buying Cloudburst Brewing in Seattle, and this is really cool. Talk about an honest-to-good, feel-good story about brewery. So Steve Luke is the founder of Cloudburst, who was originally the one of the brewers at Elysian, and left Elysian after AB InBev took over Elysian. And from what I understand, he did not like the merger with AB InBev and used to wear a shirt at almost every event that basically said bleep AB InBev. You can figure it out. Anyway, so co-owner Kevin Quinn of Bale Breaker said that it just feels right to everyone to do this. So Steve Luke, he is preparing, who is the founder of Cloudburst Brewing, is preparing to move to New Zealand. His wife has taken a dream job in New Zealand. And Sip Magazine first reported the deal, and he said, look, this is, my wife has put her career on hold and sort of taken a back burner to my career over the last, 15, whatever it is, years that he was at Elysian and then starting up Cloudburst and, et cetera, et cetera. So she has a enormous opportunity here to, jump in and take a job in New Zealand. Obviously, he's a big fan of New Zealand hops. So he's still going to be, they're making this move to New Zealand. He will still contribute recipes to the brewery, but he's going to be living in New Zealand full time now. And Bale Breaker came in and said, this sounds like a great partnership between the two. So co-owner Megan Quinn told Brewbound it was the most feel-good way for him to get to move to New Zealand and support his wife in their next chapter. It's obviously a scary time to be thinking, let's continue pushing the envelope in this craft beer scene. But we also just feel like we've always been pushing the envelope and trying to continue growing. We think that this industry will circle back around, and I think this just helps position us in a way that sets us up for a long-term success. So under Bale Breaker ownership, Cloudburst will continue self-distro and maintain its 2 Seattle tap rooms, while greater availability of its Happy Little Clouds flagship could be on the horizon. So, there's just somebody else is going to be running it. He's going to continue to contribute recipes. People are still going to be brewing the beer. But now it'll still be under, I guess, American ownership. But the brand survives. That's smart. That's a cool thing. I like it. Kudos. And kudos to Steve for saying, look, my wife got her dream job. I'm going with her. It's time for her to shine. That's awesome. Good stuff. I love feel-good stories like that. Blue Moon, apparently. Listen to this one. So one thing Blue Moon beer and the Blue Moon in the Night Sky have in common. Neither are actually blue. Until now, they say. So apparently Blue Moon Brewing Company, for one weekend, next weekend, May 29th through the 31st, is reimagining its signature draft pour of Blue Moon. For one weekend only, the iconic Valencia orange is paired with the colorful twist because the Blue Moon, the beer is going to be blue. A vibrant blue hue. Their white Belgian-style wheat ale. Now, everybody's had a Blue Moon. And apparently, if you want to get it, it'll be in more than 30 markets across the U.S. Blue Moon BrewingCompany.com. And just do a search for Lunar Blue Moon. That'll take you to the site where you can find out where it is. Apparently, nowhere in New Jersey. New York City apparently is getting it. But I've noticed a number of cities here: San Diego, San Francisco, Atlanta, Austin, Baton Rouge, Boston, Chicago, Dallas, Denver, Detroit, Los Angeles, whole bunch of places. No New Jersey. So I guess we're not getting the Blue Moon in New Jersey. Oh, well. And then finally, Athletic Brewing is kicking off summer of 2026 in a big way. They are debuting a new national commercial and the release of a limited edition patriotic packaging of their iconic Run Wild IPA for the 250th anniversary of our country this 4th of July. They launched it a couple of weeks ago. Exceed Every Expectation spotlights Athletic Brewing's award-winning Run Wild IPA, and it stars Athletic Brewing co-founder and COO John Walker, alongside an athletic brewer and sensory specialist, food and beverage tastemakers, and celebrated culinary artists. They all share what makes Run Wild a quintessential IPA. Chef and restaurateur Chris Cosento described his first time trying Athletic Brewing as a revelation. Also in it is our good friend, journalist and author John Hall. Kudos to you, John, in a commercial. And a couple of Athletic teammates, a lot of stuff. So they are doing a huge marketing campaign throughout the summer, including a mix of streaming, online video, audio, podcast, digital, and out-of-home advertising. They are obviously seeking people to purchase this beer. Not only the release of that special edition Run Wild packaging, it's adorned with stars and stripes. They're launching Fruited Fields. It's a non-alcoholic radler that is inspired by the vast views of the American countryside. So they've wrapped its Run Wild IPA 12-packs and 12-ounce cans with red, white, and blue visuals for a limited time. And then Fruited Fields is brewed with raspberry, white grapefruit, and blueberry flavors with other natural flavors for a smooth sweetness with a bright kick. Again, all of these 0.5% ABV, a 12-ounce can, 80 calories, 15 grams of carbs, 1 gram of protein, 0 grams of fat. The 12-packs are available right now at retailers nationwide and in six-packs on athleticbrewing.com. And they've also brought in LA fan favorite Teoscar Hernandez, who appears in a new regional ad campaign, probably in California. He is embracing a new nickname because his nickname is Mr. Seeds. He's also calling himself Mr. Sips. He's joined Athletic Brewing's athlete roster. Hernandez says the best thing about Athletic Brewing is it's super flavorful, tastes great, and there's no hangover. It's a 30-second spot that's airing throughout Los Angeles right now. So kudos to Athletic Brewing for getting all this stuff going. And I think we're going to have somebody from Athletic Brewing on next week to talk about it. We've been talking about the non-alcoholic game for quite some time here on this program and how important it is because trends have shifted. Generations are not drinking as much alcohol anymore. And sometimes you want that change of pace beer while you're drinking. And I have to tell you, I'll throw some non-alcoholic beer in the cooler when I'm at a tailgate or hanging out with friends or whatever. Because if I don't want to stop drinking, but I want to just, lay off and maybe I've had enough water for the time being, I'll grab a non-alcoholic beer and knock one or two of those back. And then maybe go back to an alcoholic beer. Sometimes I might not. And sometimes if it's available in an arena, I think PNC carries Athletic Brewing, maybe I'll grab one of those just to hang. Because I can get it and not feel overwhelmed, which is always a good thing. Again, we talk about beer on this program, but the one thing you really need to keep in mind, drink responsibly. It's not always about how many beers you can drink and how drunk you can get. You got to drink responsibly. You got to be smart. As I've gotten older, I've started to wise up to that. All right, when we come back after a short break, our segment with Gary Monterosso, but also AI advertising. Good, bad. Do you like it? Do you not like it? We'll talk all about it coming up next on the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970, The Answer. Final segment of the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970, The Answer. I hope everyone is doing well and wrapping up your weekend. Actually, everybody's got, most people have the day off tomorrow. And the weather is supposed to be okay tomorrow here in the Northeast. So hopefully get a chance to barbecue a little bit tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. Let us dive into Gary Monterosso's weekly segment here. Without further ado, he's talking about alt beer. Take it away, Gary.
I'm Gary Monterosso for the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast. There's a German beer style called alt beer that's getting fresh attention as more drinkers look beyond IPAs and toward easier drinking flavorful beers. It combines ale character with lager-like smoothness, creating a balanced beer that's lightly malty, gently bitter, and very clean on the finish. It's the kind of beer that works just as well with a meal as it does in a relaxed conversation with friends.
All right. Well, thank you, Gary. Short and sweet. I like it. I do like a good alt beer, I have to tell you. There is nothing better than having something like that. Because, again, as Gary described, light, it's got that lager in it. It's got a little hint of bitterness. It's not over the top. You're not puckering your lips. You're not going, doing that. Good beer. And it's an excellent style and one that is we're starting to see more of it, which is a great thing. So I encourage folks, and if I see an alt beer on a menu, I will definitely try it. I think Skinny Flowers has an alt beer on the menu that you definitely want to try. Source, I know, has done an alt beer. A couple of other places have done alt beers. They are good beers. Give it a try. Now, it might be for you. It might not be for you, but you should always give it a try at least once, maybe twice. And remember, it's a 3-sip rule, right? Sip it again, maybe cleanse the palate if you can, sip it again. That's what you'll know. By the third sip, you're enjoying it, it's not off-putting, then you're enjoying the beer. And there you go. All right, so a couple of weeks ago, beginning of the month, I posted something on my Craft Beer Cast page. You can follow on Facebook, AG Craft Beer Cast, facebook.com/AG Craft Beer Cast. So this is what I wrote. I said, I am not a fan of AI-generated photos of beer, brewery ads, products, and the like. We're seeing them pop up more and more now. So I said, a question for the brewery folks. If you use them, why do you? Is it because you don't have a marketing promotions person? Is it easier for you to put something together quickly? Or is it something else? So I said, thanks for the feedback. All are welcome to weigh in. So a number of you did so. I'm going to read a couple of these, and I'd love to get your opinion. AlbertG@nycradio.com, or hit up the Facebook page and send a comment. Or you can send me a comment on X @AlGattulo, right? So Brian Kulbacki from Departed Souls, he wrote this. He said, this may sound silly, but I think there is a big difference between using AI here and there versus the places that use it for everything. I've maybe used it for full images 3 times in 3 years, and the blowback has been insane. As a small business, we post every single day, maybe multiple times a day, and that is from our main account, not including the tasting room and sales. We cannot afford a full-time graphic artist or social media person, and I'd argue most breweries' tasting rooms support local artists in one form or another more than the vast majority of other small businesses, can art, merch, musicians, meetup groups, clubs, donations, etc. If you need something done and you're not capable of making it happen yourself, you have to do what you have to do to stay afloat and get your message out there, as long as you don't lose touch with the fact that we are art and we are craft. So, okay, Brian, that does make sense. They can't afford a full-time person, so they use it in certain ways to help them, but every time they've used it, and he says they've only used it a handful of times, they've gotten blowback. Mike Jones from Hackensack Brewing said, we don't use it, but I can't knock anyone who does, given the state of the industry. And then he wrote in parentheses, which I actually think is back on the upswing. We have played around with it to create funny stuff for our taproom digital display, but I don't really love the flyers or labels that look super AI. To each their own, though. I actually went to a great seminar at the Craft Brewers Conference this past week, which was back in late April, and they showed some interesting ways to use it. As opposed to letting AI create your flyer or ad from scratch, they showed how it's actually useful for enhancing, cleaning up ads or flyers that you already created yourself. They went into the legality of it as well. People who create labels and flyers purely from AI own zero rights to any of that stuff. I think some people don't realize that. Excellent point, Mike. Excellent point. You create it, AI now owns it, or the company that owns the AI now owns it. You don't own it anymore. So I think that's an excellent point. And I like that he's saying here's a way to enhance stuff or clean it up, but not actually use it. And I think he's got some valid points there. But I saw an ad for a beer, and I don't remember it was a guy just posting a picture of a beer. And I can't remember the name. It was a Jersey beer, but I can't remember the brewery that it was. I'm trying to think. Maybe it was New Jersey Beer Company. I'm not entirely sure. And he wrote it like, hey, I just tried. It's been a while since I posted. I tried this beer or whatever. And the beer seemed like it was from a real picture, but the entire background was all AI generated. And here's where I got turned off. There was a sign on this bridge behind it, but it's not actually a bridge. And it said Gothel's Bridge, but Gothel's was spelt wrong. So to me, I'm like, I can't buy this whole thing because they spelled Goethals wrong. Like, you didn't correct that, or you can't correct it. I don't know. I don't know enough about the AI stuff to. I'm nowhere near an expert. I'm certainly a novice, but that bothered me a little bit. I was like, I don't know if I could dig that. So I don't know. Not happy with it. My good friend Meg Knoll, she's a marketing professional. She said, as a marketing professional, I can't stand it. It's off-putting when I see a restaurant or brewery use it. I avoid places that do so, and it is very obvious, even if they think it's not. At the end of the day, it is theft in a way. Maddie Bowen from Lions Roar, she said, I agree 100%. Another beer drinker, Rob Bedford, he says, I don't like when AI is used for creative things like label art or ads. I don't know, but the label art thing, I can maybe buy. Like, that's okay to me if you're using it as a part of the can art and it's creating something. But I don't know. Again, I'd rather, if you're using it to enhance your product, it's one thing. But if you're using it to create your entire ad, I have a problem with it. I saw a restaurant, and I don't think it was local. I think it was not national, but it was not inside the tri-state area. And it was an AI photo of food. And the guy was like, come try our, whatever. Well, what you're posting is fake. It's not real food. Why am I coming to you? If you need to do that, then I'm not crazy about your food then, probably. It's probably not that good. So, I don't know. I just, I understand that if you're using it to enhance stuff, but I think if you're using it to generate an entire ad, and we've seen it from a number of different places, I'm not a big fan of it. I think it's wrong. I don't think it should be used. I know a lot of people use AI now for a lot of different things. I try not to. Google now is apparently switching their search engine. So now instead of typing in and getting a list of websites, now it's going to be AI, stuff that's generated. I don't want that. Sometimes I'll look at AI, AI-generated explanations for things, but even those you have to be careful about because in the end, some of that may not be true because, again, it's aggregating from a number of different sources. So I would sort of stay away from the AI stuff. If you're a brewery and you're trying to advertise, I know it might make your job a lot easier, but I just think it comes across as phony and fake. I want to see real ads from your brewery, somebody pouring a beer from your taps, a picture of a beer with the new can that's being released, a picture of your brewery itself with people in it and enjoying themselves. That's the other one I can't stand. When they show people, it's AI and it's people, they're fake people. They're fake people. It's not good. It's one thing if you're showing, okay, here's where I think AI works. You're building a new brewery and you want to show a rendition of what the brewery is going to look like when it's done. Like your initial posting of it, right? You don't have anything. You just have a sketch, blueprints, whatever. Maybe you don't want to show those. That's acceptable then. Like, here's what we're envisioning the space to be. Now, it might be different between point A and point B, but then I don't have a problem with it. But if you're using it constantly for stuff, I think it just takes away from your business. You're supposed to be spotlighting your business. That's the most important thing, at least to me. I don't know. Listen, if you have some thoughts, comment on the Facebook post on AG Craft Beer Cast. You can scroll down. You'll find it. Do a search for it. Hit me up on X, @AlGattulo. Send me an email the old-fashioned way, albertg@nycradio.com. It's been a fun show, I have to say. And real quick, with the time that we have remaining, tomorrow, not only Memorial Day, and we want you to think about the veterans that never made it back. Tomorrow would have been my mother's birthday. She would have been 88 years old. And I'll be down at the cemetery to visit her. I miss her. I miss her every single day of my life. She was a force for me. And a lot of what I put into my work life, personal life today, I have her to thank for it. And I miss her, and I love her. Mom, I love you. I'm coming down to the cemetery tomorrow to visit and have a little conversation. I hope everybody has a great Memorial Day. I hope you remember and reflect on this holiday of Memorial Day and what it's all about. My thanks to everybody involved in the show, as well as the great Buddy Watson. I am back Tuesday on the Joe Piscopo Show at 6 a.m. This has been the Al Gattulo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. Cheers, everybody.